Welcome back to the Realistic Cattle Ranch Challenge on Sunshine Forest. I'm BP, and it's time to get to work. Welcome back, guys. It is March. We tried to get some work done in February, but there was a little bit of snow on the ground, and I couldn't get pallets loaded. The Massey does not do well in the snow, so we just took the loan payments on the chin and went on to March. We have plenty of lettuce to sell to get caught back up, but I was hoping to sort of get ahead a little bit ahead before this, but like I said, we just couldn't get anything done. But it is 58 degrees back in March. Apparently, Sunshine Forest has very mild winters, which is great for us. We do have some updates on the cows. We have one more heifer that is ready to move over. It has matured. So let's see. Bubbles is 12 months old and is ready to head over to the bullpen. So let's walk Bubbles on over. Oh, dropped the lead. That's not good. And let's get Bubbles into the bullpen. Let's see, right here. And move. Yes, we want to move Bubbles over. Excellent. Now, we do have a little bit of silage left, which so far has proven to be the key to getting the animals to breed. When they're on grass, as we discussed last episode, it doesn't work very well. So we are going to assume that that is all set and ready to go. So let's jump in here. Let's throw some straps onto our 16,000 liters of lettuce. And let's head up to the shop area and get this sold. So I think the main goal now is to just sort of rinse and repeat adding cows to the mix. We are going to need more barn space. We just have to continue producing silage. I still am not sure what I want to do about our natural grass field, sort of field 1 behind the barn and field 2 there in front of the wheat. They continue to grow. They continue to produce really good grass. They are showing up with some precision farming data, so that's always interesting. I don't know if it's really worth, plowing that up, planting it. We certainly could try to put some lime down. I'm hopeful that today we will have enough money to buy the soil map for our piece of property and just see what it looks like with those fields, because we're getting some yield maps and other things that seem to indicate that it thinks there's a field there, which is good news. So we'll see what happens there. I think one of my main hesitations in plowing up those fields and replanting them is we don't have a stone picker and they're just so expensive. I guess we could realistically lease one. If we're gonna lease one, it really should be after we harvest our wheat field, so we can get the stones out of our wheat field and then any grass fields we add, to have all of our fields be stone free. It wouldn't make sense to, take the stones out of the grass field and leave them in the wheat field. It's harder on the equipment, and reduces the yield on it, I believe, as well. So, have to sort of get the timing down on that. But I'm hoping, like I said, that we're going to have some good news today financially. Okay, 16,000, so not quite as much as I had hoped, but still not bad. While we're here, let's take a quick look at the sale and see what we have. Just some huge tractors. I did look at the case. It's only 4 meters, so it's narrower than our existing planter. I just don't think it's worth trading. We probably could make about $1,500 if we sold it, but I just don't think it's worth it for the loss of planting with. The feed truck is an interesting mod, not anything we can afford right now. We have our existing trailer. I mean, I guess I could jump out and see, what would we get if we sold this. We get $1,300. So I guess, yeah, I mean, we could... Doesn't need paint, doesn't need repair. We could go ahead and sell it for $1,300 and buy the used one for $750 or whatever it was. Where'd it go? Let's see, we'll have to paint it a different color so we know that, oh, we're not going with purple, I can tell you that much. What's a dusty blue? That's a nice color. Maybe not the one I want, but it is a nice color. Black is always nice. Yeah, let's go with black. And then black on the rims as well. All right, so, you know, we made 500-ish bucks trading down on trailers. Not a big deal. You know, it serves the same purpose. We're not going to get more or less things on it. Because of that, it does take our grand total cash up to $5,300, which is great news. And I think we're going to go grab some cows. We can actually go over to the dealer and take a quick look. Let's see, get connected up. I do feel like this truck previously, or at least the modder of this truck, did have height adjustable hitches, and it just doesn't seem like that's the case on this one, and that may just be the way it is. Let's see. Yep, doesn't seem to do anything. No big deal. Just thinking if we get a little more level, that would be good. So let's run over to the animal dealer. Let's jump out and just take a look and see what we can see. Now I wonder if we can even get into it without a trailer. Let's take a quick look. No, we cannot. All right, so sold our lettuce, traded our trailer. We're going to head back to the ranch. I will see you guys there. We are back at the ranch. So this is actually take 2. I went ahead, we came back, I bought the soil samples last time to try to figure out what was going on, and what we learned was that this field, our wheat field, looked great. Great soil data, bought it for the whole farmland, got it here. But the areas we've mowed are showing up as fields, but only the green grass. If you notice, I look at the green grass, and I have a farmland 12, crop type grass, ready to harvest, growth 304. But if I go to where the brown grass is, sort of the wild grass or the woodland grass, I don't have any data. So the soil map was very, very splotchy. So I think we are going to have to plow those up so that we can get good data and good applications of lime and fertilizer on there. So I think the way to do that, walked right by the field while I was talking, wasn't paying attention. I think we need to mow the fields, and then after they're mowed, basically plow them in. So I'm going to mow the first field up front, I guess technically field number 2 we've been calling it, because it's all but ready. And then between episodes, I will plow it. This field back here, field number 1, we harvested right at the end of the season, and it's not going to be ready to harvest for another month or 2, but we will then cut the grass and then plow this one up too and plant grass. So we have a plan now. I'm going to go ahead and get this mowed, and I will bring you guys back when that is done, and we are moving on. is a wrap on grass field number 2. We got that mowed. I will Ted, bale, and wrap that after the episode here today and get that done. I think at this stage we need to run up to the shop and get a look at the cattle. We can actually do that down here. We can pull up, I guess, what we'll call the animal dealer's website and keep an eye on what we have and see what's worth running up there to get. We just have to keep increasing the size of our herd. I think we're getting pretty close to, I think we're at like 15 animals. Got to get to 20 here pretty quick. Come on, little tractor. Connect up. There we go. So let's run through and jump out here and pull up the animal dealer and see what they have. So right here. Okay, so we have a very high quality brown Swiss, 21-month-old, $3,200. That's a great animal, but at 21 months, we just don't have that kind of money. This one's 11 months at less than half the price. We want that one for sure. Very good overall quality. Everything is very high on that one, so that's a great animal. This one's okay. Not terrible, not great. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. Yeah, average, no thanks. Don't have any cheap bulls. Yeah, this is a very good Holstein calf as well. From Sweden, 10 months old. So there's 2 we probably want. Angus, 1,800. I just don't think we can afford that one. It's a great animal, don't get me wrong. Another $1,100. So you only have $5,300 in the bank. So here's one, 9 months, very good overall quality. Bad, very bad. Wow, very bad. I'm not sure I've seen an overall quality very bad. Sorry, my Italian limousine friend, but I don't think anyone's going to want you. $215 for this calf. This is a great animal. Let that one grow up from Russia. That'll be good. Water buffalo, nothing's grabbing. We don't need any more bulls. So I think there are a couple animals that are worth running up there to pick up. So let's go grab our international. And at some point, we probably should get the bale fork out of the back of this, but it's just hanging out, not hurting anything. So run up here. Grab this guy. And away we... Oh, was that the building? And away we go. And we're having a rough time driving this episode, hitting everything. Alright, so I will see you guys up at the animal dealer. We'll go ahead and get these calves picked up. And we will see when we get back. Nice, easy drive up to the animal dealer. Let's grab those calves we found last time. So the brown Swiss 3,200, I just don't think we can take. I think it's just too much money. 1329, 13 months. Overall is just good. I think we'll pass there. 1236, this one was good. There was a little Angus calf that looked very good. Yeah, that one's not bad. Because we could, let's see, we have, I mean, that one's 2,000, and I just don't think we can do that. So let's see, we have 2,600. We're buying those two. We have 2,700 left. Let's pop out of the menu. Sometimes it gets a little bit goofy. All right, so we don't want either the Holsteins. The Angus, I mean, we could pick up this one for 1,800. It'd be great because we could put it almost straight away into the breeding pen. This one is 1,800. I thought there was one that was it a limousine? There was like a cheap, yeah, this $215 limousine. That's going to be a very expensive animal later on. So we definitely want to buy that one. leaves us with $2,500. So let's scroll down here. The water buffalo. Slow Oni is this one's name. That's funny. This one is 1,200. It's not bad. It's 11 months. It would be right at breeding age. So let's buy that one. That's going to be 4. Leaves us with $1,300. Was there an Angus up here that we liked? Or was it the limousine? The limousine is 15. Just double checking everything here. I really hope Slow Oni wasn't a bull. I didn't get distracted and buy the wrong one. Yeah, see, we could buy this limousine, but it's 15. We don't have the cash. This one's 4,000. Wow. Oh, it's a bull. Never mind. We don't care. 1180 for an 8-month-old Angus. So, yep. We are going to buy that one. And once again, we have spent all of our money. I like how one of them has a name already. It's funny. So, we got quite the eclectic mix back there, but that's the way our cattle ranch is taking off. So, I will see you guys back at the farm. We are back at the farm, and I did not park any of these. I hit that trailer on the way out and left it in the way, and then left the Fiat attached to, let's just move it. Just put that in a bad spot. That's just on me. I think we'll have time to do a little bit of grass work this episode, which would be nice too. Sort of talk about where we're headed next. So let's see. Let's leave that guy there for the moment. Let's get our animals tucked in to the correct barns. If I remember correctly, wasn't one of these animals ready to go in the breeding pen? We'll have to see. Let's see. So 11 months, 10 months, 8 months, 0 months, 11 months. No, so they're all going in the barn. That is totally fine. All 5 animals have been deposited. We should just do a quick... Oh, didn't want to do that. We should do just a quick check. We're trying to get the animals in the cow barn to eat their food down. They're at 16,827 liters of grass. We have silage for them. I'm just trying to get the grass out of there because it will go against the total available food, and we won't be able to get very much silage in. And then the cow pasture, they still have 1,500 liters of silage, which more than likely we will end up topping off, depending on what happens overnight. I also would like to get some of that grass eaten out of there, but that one is not as big a deal because that open pasture has a 500 animal capacity and is not even close to full, so it has tons and tons of food space available. Since we're having a hard time driving today, we're pulling in everything forward. Go ahead and get that disconnected, turned off. Let's jump out. Let's do some grass work, guys. Let's get the... you guys have not seen the tedder at work yet. I am thrilled with this tedder. So it is just so much better than the other one. Let's go ahead and get it extended. Let's lower it down. And let's head out and do... I'm sorry, tedder. I meant windrower. Let's go out and get some windrowing done. So I think the next stage of the ranch is going to revolve around our dairy cattle. We have several cattle that are about halfway through their gestation period, which means they're going to start producing milk in the next couple of months. We'll have to do something with that milk. We can initially just sell the raw milk if we need to. We'll probably pop a production down and start doing either some bottled milk, some butter, some cheese. If the water buffalo eventually produce buffalo milk, we can do buffalo mozzarella, which is a big money maker. But we are essentially in a good spot, but a bit of a holding pattern right now because we're waiting. We got to start making more money. We're throwing every dollar we make right back into the ranch, which is totally fine. But at some point, we're going to have to start making enough money that we can buy more and bigger things. I still would like to have at least one more outdoor pasture, which eventually will be a non-breeding bull pen. It will just be a pen to hold the bulls until they are worth enough to sell. And then I would also like to have a better barn for wintering over animals. I did download a calf igloo mod so we could get some igloos put up, and it's cool because they're not the individual ones where it's one animal per igloo. I got a mod that allows, I think it's up to 5 calves in an igloo, so you can sort of cluster them together, which, you know, just makes you feel good they're not alone. So we're heading in the right direction. We are, as I said just a second ago, in a bit of a holding pattern. We sort of just have to keep grinding for a couple of months until we get that burst of income when our cows start producing. You know, realistically, we need a manure spreader. Once we get some straw in the pen, we need a milk tanker. We would probably do better at some point to have a bale collector. I don't mind managing the bales manually, but as we get bigger and bigger, we will need more, and it'd be nice to be able to just pick the bales up off the field and put them where, you know, at least close to where they're going to be stored without having to handle them all individually. We will eventually need a bigger mower, a bigger tractor. You know, there are lots of things that we're going to need to get our cattle ranch up to 300 animals. But like I said, you know, right now we are in very good shape. You know, the money is tight, and that's okay, but we are getting to the point where, you know, we're going to start breaking loose financially here very, very soon. So let's just sort of clean up this corner. Got a bunch of loose stuff. Like I said, I really like this windrower. It does just such a great job. And that is how we windrow the field. So between episodes, I will get this baled and wrapped, and probably get the bales put somewhere, stack them up as a group. I believe both this outside row of bales, silage bales, and the ones inside the barn are both silage at this point, so we have a good reserve of silage for our animals. We could consider selling some. I just know that it's going to go from not needing a lot of food because our animals are small and we don't have many of them, to we are suddenly going to be going through, you know, 50 to 70,000 liters of food a day. So I'm trying to just build up a reserve of food for the animals moving forward, because as of right now, we are not playing with the realistic weather mod, which I would love to, but I did my testing and there are some conflicts, particularly with performance right now with that mod, and so it's just we can't have it in the gameplay because it affects the qualities of the video. I would love to add that in. I would love to have really deep snow, potentially, you know, dense and challenging fog, and be able to play with that stuff too, but not at the expense of the quality of the videos we're able to put out. So that's sort of where we are with that, and if it does change, if it gets an update, we will certainly add it in. So I'm going to go ahead and get this knocked out. I might even put it on a quick time lapse at the end of the video for you guys, but this will be it for me until I see you in the next episode. So thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to drop a like and turn on notifications for more videos, and we'll see you in the next one.